Yeah, feel free to put out the hello YouTubes. Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, you guys go ahead. In chat, go ahead. Hello YouTube. Say hi. Wave to these people. Seriously. The Tekken 8 closed network test. I played a good deal of this, and I think it's definitely time to talk about how I feel about Tekken 8 and kind of get some things off my chest. Graphically, this game is gorgeous. There's no issues. I don't feel I've seen anything bad. Nothing graphically is not pleasing for the most part. Like even with Kaz right here, just kind of doing his things like, missions. I'm about to punch up Jin. I already beat up Heihachi. Graphically, the game is fantastic. I have no gripes with that. I think the game is beautiful. I do think some of the effects in the game are a bit much. I do think it can be a little distracting while trying to play from a graphic standpoint, but that's not necessarily too bad because I know you do have the ability to turn them down in the options a little bit, so that's a good thing. Hopefully they can let you tone it down a little bit more than what they offer here. But because visuals, there's not much to say, to be honest. But gameplay, this is where I'm gonna go in depth and really kind of like nitpick this game. So I feel like this game is very good if you like Tekken. I think this game honestly doesn't really do too much to innovate the series, and it in so many ways feels a lot like a Tekken 7 2.0 with some new mechanics. Now I get it. What do you mean, dude? The heat system's all brand new, blah blah blah. It's still this. Yeah, that's true, but there's a lot of things that they did to the gameplay that's kind of really daunting, right? Like it's a very quote unquote aggressive game, and definitely Harada and them, they definitely stuck to that. I wasn't exactly sure how aggressive quote unquote the game was supposed to be, or like what their vision of offense is, right? Or aggression. But you know, based on the interviews, it was all like, you know, we just don't want to see the defensive gameplay essentially of Tekken to be, they don't want that to continue. They want a more exciting offensive game. Now, what that entailed is what I figured out in just day one of playing this game. Playing the game, it definitely just feels like it's another, like it's just more of the same with a nerfed backdash, which already, you know, good players and stuff like that have already confirmed that backdashing did get nerfed, where like the Korean backdash, for example, or continuous backdashing got nerfed, and they shortened the distances, etc, etc. So it can still be done, but in this version, like it's so bad. Like it's kind of abysmal how bad it is. Like it's really really bad. In addition to that, part of my other concerns are like, I'm not a big fan of the round start in this game. I don't like it at all. I think that they did I gotta be real, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I think they did a terrible job in this part of the game because they really want you to scrap. I get that, but like you're introducing round start options, and at that point you're turning it into an anime fighter. And I know that's probably a tough pill for people to swallow, but Guilty Gear is a game that's filled with a lot of that. You know what I mean? So I feel like having a more neutral based position for both players to start would be more beneficial, and then let them kind of get in there. Don't just cage them in at the round start, because if you're introducing round start options, let me tell you exactly why that's kind of bad. In Guilty Gear, it can be bad, right? Because we have Nago, who literally can do an uppercut and like take you to the corner, and you gotta guess for game at the start of the game, and that's not a good look. You know what I mean? And I feel like Tekken's gonna end up being the same, where there's gonna be some round start options that are just gonna be way stronger than others because of either the speed, or maybe it has different certain properties. Maybe it's a low crush, maybe it's a high crush. I'm not really sure, but I just don't think that that's good. I think that they should just go back to a good neutral position like previous Tekkens, and just allow players to kind of get in there on their own, and don't just force them into this cage. With that being said, not a fan of that. gameplay wise, as I mentioned before, it just doesn't really feel that much different outside of a bad backdash. So offense is really strong. So that sense of quote unquote footsies and like spacing that Tekken players are like known for exemplifying, it's not really here. It's more so in the sidestepping and with a single backdash to try to create the space that you want, as opposed to K backdash. So what ends up happening now is you get a lot of players that are just kind of like YOLO, you know, W keying in, not really caring. And I'm not saying that's every player. I know some players are trying to play strategic, so let me not like, if you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, what do you mean I play super smart in my Tekken? Yeah, I feel you, but like what has been winning in this beta right now, or alpha, whatever you want to call this, closed network test, whatever, right? There's a lot of players that are just kind of just going ham. And it's because of the heat system. And the heat system kind of opens up some doors, which I want to talk about now. Other than people just kind of mashing in your face and it looking like green rank Tekken from Tekken 7, as some people will coin it, you get the heat system where on one front it seems very good, and then on another it's not. And the reason being for that, some of the properties for some of the characters are kind of wild. Obviously you get access to chip damage and things like that, but Jin has auto electrics amongst other things, and some other characters have some other neat properties, but some of it just seems a little outlandish. The heat system just, it's very interesting on some of the moves that they put it on. So for example, you know, I was playing Jin primarily, right? And one of the issues I had is like I used to use a lot of forward 2 or forward triangle, for you guys that are not familiar with Tekken lingo. So forward triangle, if you will, is a lunge punch with Jin that's very good to punish the opponent if they whiff something. But the problem with that is it's attached to heat engage. So if you make contact, it just does chip damage. But if you actually hit them with it and you punish them, it's a heat engage. And Jin automatically runs in and it's like, yeah, I get plus frames and it's my turn to set up a mix up. And it's like, that's kind of cool, but you also didn't give me the ability. I didn't ask for this. Does that make sense? I didn't ask you to auto dash me into my opponent. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this position. I want to not have to auto dash. So I think that's my biggest gripe right now with the game in terms of the heat system, is that it's had, you know, these heat engager moves are like auto dashing, and it's like, I don't ask for that. Like if you're going to introduce a system that requires like meter, right, or meter management, then I don't see a reason why I need to utilize my quote unquote install or whatever you want to call this, my meter. I don't want to use my meter just because the game mechanics say auto go. It doesn't feel good. I'm just not gonna lie to you guys, it does not feel good at all. And I would have hoped that I think players have already kind of mentioned this to them already, and to see it still be here is kind of like, maybe there'll be some other builds where they've kind of reconsidered that, but as of right now, you know, let's say on a hypothetical this is what the game is and the heat engagers are automatic, then I'm not a fan. I'm cool with it if, you know, you can do it when you want to heat engage when you want. But like it's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like another Roman cancel system or some type of system that allows you to extend your combo / pressure, and I think that's kind of cool, but let me do it when I want. Don't automatically force it on me. I think that's not a good look. It's bad for decision making. But with that being said, coming back to gameplay as well, I want to talk about the easy controls or the simple mode controls. I'm gonna just be real, I think that they're just not good at all. I don't think that they're very intuitive. I think it's pretty awful. Not gonna lie, it's pretty awful. I see that they were trying to kind of touch base with how Capcom does it, modern controls, but I do think, I just gotta be real, they just did a bad job. I don't think it's very good. And the attacks that are attached to it are not very good either. Like it's your heat engager and auto combos of choice, and then like a low, and then like the heat activation. And to me, it's kind of like, this seems kind of awful. I would hope that you can customize it in the future, and hopefully they like maybe reconsider it, because right now you can activate it at any time in a match, and in online you can see when your opponent activates it. So it's kind of like, just make it a control scheme. You know what I mean? They should just make it a control scheme. But right now, like, it doesn't feel like it's much of anything. I think you might as well just play the game normally and not even worry about that at all. So that's that on the simple controls. The power crushes. Oh my gosh. I think power crush in this game is downright terrible. They wanted you to have a way to play defense with armored moves, but like, you can literally absorb a lot of hits and still not actually hit the opponent. Thus, you end up taking more damage than you need to. And it's like, what was the point of this? If you're gonna introduce armored moves, then at least like maybe after 2 hits it auto locks into the auto animation or whatever it is. I mean, so Jin down 1, if you connect with that, he'll do like a, you know, his down 1 punch, and then or down and square for you guys, those PlayStation boys. And he'll just dash across and whatever and do his damage and side swap. Okay, that's cool. But it has to connect. If it doesn't connect, then you're just taking a buttload of damage and you can literally die for trying to use it. So it's kind of like, okay, I have all this gray health or recoverable health, but how am I gonna recover all that recoverable health when I'm in kill range? Like, you gotta make that make sense. See what I'm saying? Like, if you're already in kill range, what was the purpose of this? Like, it's not making any sense at all. But you want me to be happy with knowing that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I have a way out, but it's not really a way out. It's killing yourself. So it's like, what's the purpose of these armor moves? I don't know. Again, I'm not sure what they're aiming to do. As a disclaimer here, again, I want you guys to know that really quickly, I don't hate this game. I'm just very much so concerned. And while I think I'll be fine, I'm concerned about like other people who like want to pick up the game and things of that nature, because like, I just see the game it's just gonna end up being the same. Like, if they don't do something about this, I'm not sure. Whoa, hold on a second. Pause. So really quickly, I did make this video in advance, and Harada did come up with a tweet that does kind of state some things about the game. I'll just put this up here on screen for you guys to see. And essentially, Harada is saying this was only a network battle and matching test, so the game system is still in a bare bones state. We appreciate the many positive reviews. However, we also understand that there are many things that need to be improved, such as combos that are too long, chip damage pressure, and overly flashy multi-layered effects that make it difficult to grasp one's own state. There will be many changes by launch, including the heat system. So yeah, I mean, trust you me, I wanted to delay putting out this video after seeing this tweet here from Harada. So I just want you guys to take note of that I am aware, I am paying attention to what's going on to the game. Do not get it twisted. With that being said, let's move forward with the remaining parts of the video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, in terms of gameplay, I want to talk about defense. I think defense in this game obviously is abysmal because the backdash movement isn't very good, but the sidestepping is pretty much okay. I think what will be nice is if they did something like heat burst or something like that lets you get people off of you while you're blocking. Because I think a lot of where this game takes place is obviously up close, and people will be attacking you a lot. So I feel like maybe not a burst on hit, but at least a burst, some kind of burst or defensive mechanic on block to help people get them off of you. And it can forcefully put your character in heat mode. That's fine. It's used once per round. Okay, I'm okay with that. But give me a way to not just get blown up. Like, I've seen so much of that from watching other players play. You know, I'll be sure to put some clips up here on the video here, but like, for example, you have like, gosh man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how this game just works. Like, getting chipped out and then getting like people activating and mashing in your face. Like, I saw a clip with JDCR where he had Harong and he just went nuts against his Jack, and he's just like yelling like plus 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 plus, which I'll be sure to put that here for you guys to look at.
이거 켜? 왜 안 켜? 켰다. 이때야 가서 야 이런 식으로 하는 거봐 플러스 야 가자 야 개사기인데 야 플러스 아 좋았어.
I just don't get it. Is this your vision, you know, Namco, of like Tekken 8? Like, is this what you think casuals want? Is this what you think that people have complained about? They just want people to be in their face 24/7. I don't know. I think part of an issue here is like this game is a direct correlation to what people did not like about Tekken 7. And while I think it's okay to like kind of readjust, it still feels a lot of the same. And you just made like, I don't know, it just feels like nerfing the mobility is just bad, because there's no defensive option. The defensive option in the game is your mobility, because Tekken is a very evasive game. So like if you take that out, then what do you have? Just block and then you eat all this chip damage. And I don't know, I've just seen so many people just get clipped by so many things just trying to move around. I'm just like, I put my hands up. Like, oh, what can I say here? You know, I want to see this game flourish. I just don't know what their major goal here is. Is their goal, you know, which leads me to this, like, what is really the goal of Tekken 8? Like, is the goal of Tekken 8 to bring in new people? Is the goal of Tekken 8 to try to appeal to old Tekken fans? Like I don't know what their target audience is here for this game, right? And if the target, which maybe the target audience actually is the people who had issues with Tekken 7 and the way it was played at high level, I could see that. But again, it is somewhat of a correlation here. But man, I feel like if that was the case, then I think you should have done more to try to help it be more intuitive for newer players to play, which I've stated earlier. I don't know. I just don't feel it's new player friendly at all. And I think the quote unquote aggressive nature of the game is just downright awful. I see people playing it anyway. Honestly, I do think the game will most likely sell well when it comes out, but if this is any indication of what to expect, I don't know how serious I'll play this game. I'll most likely just play it and just have some fun, maybe make content, but competitive wise, I'm not seeing it. Which I should add this in here too, the damage in this game is just not even right. I don't even understand what they're thinking. Like, that one stream from Kazuya doing 70 damage is like just crazy. It's just crazy to me. Yes. Aggressive. No. Aggressive. I just can't fathom a reason why he has to do that much damage in like one shot. And it's not even a launch combo. Why is this combo do more damage than a launcher? You know what I mean? In the corner or slash wall, it loops into itself for like 100 damage. So it's kind of like, okay. Like, something's got to give here with Kaz. It's just all a guaranteed combo. So that leads me to believe that maybe they're going to have punish strings like Kazuya. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to test every character to kind of see what it was, but at the moment it was, like I said, mostly just Jin, and just seeing how things are going. Now online, let me stop talking about gameplay. I can talk all day about it, but online I think is okay. It needs work. Now I did have some issues, right, where it felt bad in terms of jitteriness. So then I readjusted it to the performance mode, which helps increase, you know, a higher chance of your inputs coming out. And that just made things worse. Like, the jitter was just tremendous, to the point to where like I could not react, I could not see things properly on the screen. I'm like, okay, all right, Namco, you got me. I'm gonna go back to your standard mode. Ooh. What is this move? What is this movement? The rollback also had these other options where it was like quality mode, standard mode, and like performance. And when I did see that, I was like, okay, this probably means that there's other online modes that are coming that are not just ranked. So that's a good thing. What those modes are, not sure. Could the online be better? Yes. We'll see. We'll see. But again, just to put it back out here, I don't hate this game at all. As I said before, I believe I'm gonna be fine. I'm still pretty excited for the game. I'm just worried now. I think after being able to play it now I'm just a bit worried, and I'm hoping that they can find some kind of like middle ground for this game to kind of appeal to the larger audience, because what they have to understand here is that Tekken isn't the only fighting game out. You know what I mean? Like, and even though it is a household name, for what it's worth, I do just think that they gotta do something. And I keep saying this, right? But I can't get it out of my head. Like, I just hope that they can find a way to understand that, like, you're not the only like player in this rat race when it comes to fighting games. There are other competitors that have the ability to like blow them out. You know, will they? That remains to be seen. But, you know, I wouldn't want them to rest on the laurels of we're just, you know, we are the premier 3D fighting game. It's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like, if your package doesn't offer anything greater or equal to, say, Street Fighter 6 or what MK1's gonna bring to the table, yeah, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult to just sit here and say, oh well, it's Tekken, you know, it's okay. And like, mind you, there are other things that concern me as well. Like, you know, I'm wondering if maybe because Tekken 7 was so successful that they decided to kind of keep the game the way it was and just kind of reshift things around. Not sure. But I can just say that, like, I really wish that they chose the ability. I wish they just chose to innovate the system a bit more. Not that Heat isn't innovative, but I just feel like chip damage is, I don't know, like chip damage in Tekken is like okay, but I don't know, you have to attack to get your life back. I thought it was cool at first, but playing it now, it's like, man, I just don't know. You know, and I'll throw this out here, what I think could help this game, right? Because it's been kind of like on the Debbie Downer side of things, but things I think that they could use to maybe help the game. I still think having a one button sidestep, like a one button dash macro similar to Guilty Gear, would probably help. I get most people who've played the series for a long time probably wouldn't like it because, like, why would I want a one button sidestep? I think you want to try to mitigate how much, you know, a player has to learn for a game like this, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of fell off with Tekken. And that's something I heard a lot of times. It's a lot of knowledge checks, a lot to learn, blah blah blah. I've just heard these things over the course of time, and it's just weird that they opted to not kind of consider that while keeping things. I don't know, it just feels like it's just more of the same. Like, I mean, I said on the stream, which I'm still on stream here now, right? You know, it reminded me of Madden, where it's like, you know, fresh coat of paint. It's the same game with a fresh coat of paint. Like, that might like that might seem harsh, but I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best. I can't say anything else. Just one, give me a sidestep button, give me a a heat burst, something. Maybe make chip damage a lot less egregious or something. I really don't know. Like, there's so many things that can be proposed to try to make this game better, but I just feel like Harada and company, they're just okay, like how it is. So again, we'll see, but let me not make this too long. You guys know what it is. Thank you guys for watching. How do you feel about Tekken 8? Were you able to play yourself? If you were, talk to me in the comments. Who were you playing and how do you feel about it? Let's have a dialogue, you know what I mean? But yeah, let me go ahead and get up out of here, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.